Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CDL Live. Alex says he has to rep his team, and he's doing just that. But you know what's funny is his rivals, and CDL is named the Thunder. Anyway, we are ready for the July 12th game day. What else can be said about it? It's going to be entertaining, to say the least. Our main event, Minnesota Maniacs, home against the Los Angeles Blades tonight. We are just in for a great game day. Also, Storm and the Nighthawks. So,
Cry Thunder!
Good song, Dragon Force. Listen to that shit. Anyways, huge game day coming up. Playoff spots on the line. Of course, Hartford could clinch one with the win. They'll be playing at Green Bay today. Just a lot of action across the CDL. Only two teams with byes, Washington and Roswell. That is it. So, enjoy the 20 games of this July 12th game day. Let's get down to the field for the start of the first game on CDL Live.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
It's time for our first game here on CDL Live, our July 12th game day, kicking things off. Two teams playing for pride in July. Should make it an entertaining game, though. Closely matched teams, both of them towards the bottom of the Eastern Conference's barrel. New York Empire, Milwaukee Mob. Coming up first on CDL Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CDL Live. Our first game of the July 12th game day about to begin. The New York Empire on the road to take on the Milwaukee Mob. Two teams playing for pride here in July, down to the last 7 game days of the season. Let's see what they send out to play against each other here. Diesel Boy Jr. starts things off for the New York Empire, followed by Enzo 1. A Spirit at the captain spot, and at 5-point gainer is going to be T-Bird, or Tiku, the home side of the field. Black 308 will start things off for Milwaukee, followed by 80 Vet. At the captain spot is Ratified, and at 5-point gainer, Black Spider. Here we go, Black 308 and Diesel Boy Jr. game on, and it's going to be 5-0 Milwaukee in the lead. Black 308 gets the plus there, but he goes down that time. 5-5, Empire Titans. 80 Vet and Enzo 1, both going down. We are tied at 10. Now down to Ratified and Espirit. Espirit goes down, Ratified, good flip. Gives Milwaukee a 15-10 lead, looking for the win. Ratified out there against T-Group. Tries to force overtime here, not going to happen. 15-10 the final here. And our first Ratified, Ratified gets the job done here. 15-10 the final. Milwaukee Mob have the win over the New York Empire. Coming up next, Nevada Thunder, Idaho Cowboys on CDL Live. Stay tuned. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our next game. The Nevada Thunder on the road, looking to keep their slim playoff hopes alive against the Idaho Cowboys. Every game counting for Nevada right now as their chances, well, they start to dim up with every single game day that's been happening so far. Teams ahead of them winning, and they've been average. Can they get a win today? Let's find out. Thunder, Cowboys, next on CDL Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live, our July 12th game day, second game of the night. The Nevada Thunder on the road to do battle with the Idaho Cowboys. Nevada barely in the playoff hunt. Every game right now is like a playoff game for them. Idaho playing for pride in July, looking to play part of the spoiler act on the Thunder here. Just find out what's going to happen. Coming out first for the Nevada Thunder is 42, followed by White Indy. Yellow Spider at the captain spot, and at 5-point gainer, White Lamborghini. The home side of the field. Blue Corvette will start things off for Idaho, followed by Arachnarod. Red 07 at the captain spot, and a 5-point gainer is Scorpion. Here we go, game on. Blue Corvette is 42 to start things off. Nevada and Idaho. Good matchup so far. Blue Corvette and 42. Both these cars going at it. Collisions, strong collisions going on so far. Almost interference, but no flip on the play, even a ball one. And it's going to be 5-0 Nevada in the weeds. Blue Corvette goes down. Coming out next is Arachnarod for the Idaho Cowboys. Out there against 42. Interference. So they'll go ahead again after an interference call. They both went down. This time Arachnarod will stay up on a clean collision. 5-5 to score. Cowboys have tied it. And White Indy goes down. 10-5 Idaho in the lead. And here comes Yellow Spider trying to keep the man alive. Interference on the ball. Okay. I'll keep going at it. And the result's going to be the same. Yellow Spider getting the flip on Arachnarod. So the score now is 10-10, and Red 07 is now out there for Idaho to battle with Yellow Spider. Should be a good matchup. Two cars equally matched here. Two teams really equally matched, to be honest. Nevada still in the playoff hunt. Every game huge for them right now, but Red 07 really trying. But he won't succeed. He goes down. 15-10 Thunder in the lead. And now here comes Scorpion for the Idaho Cowboys. Interference called. Interference called, but no flip it. They'll go at it again here. Interference called yet again. And Scorpion got hung up on a wire there. We'll continue the battle here. Scorpion and Yellow Spider going at it. Interference called that time. And Yellow Spider has come so close so many times to putting this game away, but Scorpion keeping it alive. He's been on the defensive for this whole match. Interference, but no flip. They'll go at it again here. Interference call. So yeah, another interference to Scorpion. Keeping the Cowboys alive by just running into things, playing defense. Stays alive again. Stays alive again, taking flying lessons now. Interference call, but he's still up. So the battle continues here. Will we see overtime or not? No, we will not. Clean collision that time, clean flip. And it's going to end the game. 15-10 the final. The Nevada Thunder have the win over the Idaho Cowboys. Stick around, folks. Coming up next, Gowanda Outlaws, Bradford Brawlers. Two towns that are not far from each other. It's the battle of the New York PA line. Next on CDL Live.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our next game about to begin. The battle for the New York PA border on the western side about to begin here. The Gowanda Outlaws on the road to take on the Bradford Brawlers. The Outlaws simply playing for pride in July. The Brawlers, on the other hand, they are trying to keep in that Northern Division race, trying to catch up to the Pittsburgh Destroyers. Let's find out what will happen. Outlaws, Brawlers, next.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Western PA versus Western New York here. The battle for the New York PA line. The Gowanda Outlaws on the road to take on the defending world champion Bradford Brawlers. Our next game here on CDL Live. Bradford, of course, has a playoff spot clinch. Gowanda will not be going to the playoffs this year, but they look to score a huge upset here. Still a big game for the Bradford Brawlers, or they are in as they are in a tight race for the Northern Division right now, trying to keep up or at least catch up to the Pittsburgh Destroyers. Well, switch that around. They're trying to at least keep up, but they're trying to catch up to the Pittsburgh Destroyers. Nonetheless, let's take a look at the lineup. Blue Camaro 2 will start things off for the Gowanda Outlaws, followed by Triple Threat. At the captain spot will be Lamborghini, and at 5-point gainer, Gold Mercedes. To the home side of the field, Spinebuster will start things off for Bradford, followed by Green Indy. At the captain spot, Escalade, and at 5-point gainer, Dirty Rat. So here we go, Spinebuster and Blue Camaro 2, game on. two going at it here. And it's going to be 5-0 Bradford. Spinebuster gets the good flip there. And here comes Triple Threat. Make it 10-0 Bradford. Lamborghini trying to keep Gowanda in the game. And it's not going to happen. Barely contact, still contact.
Yeah, I've seen that coming.
And
I tried giving Gowanda a little credit with 15-5, though.
Oh, you're almost right, but
I was thinking it's going to be 15-0. I want to get the credit.
well, that's how it does then, though. 15-0 the final. The Bradford Brawlers laying the smackdown on the Gowanda Outlaws here tonight. Stay tuned. Our next game coming up. San Francisco Californians, Chicago Wind Attack. On CDL Live. Stay tuned.
Alright, it's truly a case of the CDL's David versus Goliath here in many ways. The Chicago Wind Attack, second place in the Western Conference, trying to get a step closer to clinching their Central Division. They are home against the San Francisco Californians, who had the worst record in the league. San Francisco trying to pull off a major upset. The Wind Attack looking for what should be an easy win. Let's get you down to the field for the start of the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live. Our next game on tap. The San Francisco Californians playing for pride here in July. They are currently last place in the CDL. They are on the road looking for a win. Any win they can get. But nonetheless, they are on the road here against a very tough team, the Chicago Wind Attack. The Wind Attack they're on the journey right now. They are trying to clinch the Central Division and clinch a top 3 seed at least. Let's find out what happens here today. California Wind Attack. Starting lineups. Number 4, we'll start things off for San Francisco, followed by Mafia 2. At the captain spot will be Black 3, and at 5-point gainer will be Silver Lamborghini. To the home side of the field. Glitter starts things off for Chicago, followed by R. Inferno at the captain spot, and a 5-point gainer, Racer X. On paper, Chicago dominates this game, but let's see if the Californians can make something happen here. Number 4 out there against Glitter right now. Start this game off. Both cars going at it here. Number 4 putting up a good fight so far. We'll see cars. Well, competitive, it's going to be 5-0 Californians. And out comes R now to do battle with number 4. R and 4 going at it. Interference call would have been tied. So 4 gets a second chance here. Down with R. Interference call. R almost tied it up again. R screwing himself over there with interference call. And it's 10-0 San Francisco. On the verge of what would be a huge upset. And here comes Inferno. Inferno's down, so is number 4, and this game is over. 15-5 the final. The San Francisco Californians, a huge upset win over the Chicago Wind Attack.
Use the hair, but my face when they just won.
Total shock here. Chicago with the home field and a huge upset. San Francisco getting the win over the Wind Attack. 15-5 the final. Coming up next, New Mexico Monsters, San Antonio Kings on CDL Live. Stay tuned.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our next game on tap for you, the New Mexico Monsters. Doing better than what they did last year, but still, their playoff hopes are completely gone. They're playing for pride in July, but they're on the road to take on division rivals, the San Antonio Kings. Kings trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Can they do it here today? Definitely in need of a win. Kings Monsters next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live. Our next game on tap, a Southern Division battle about to take place for you. The New Mexico Monsters on the road take on the San Antonio Kings. The Kings in a 3-way tie right now for 13th place in the CDL's Western Conference. Now, currently they hold 15th seed because of tiebreakers, but nonetheless, out of all those teams that are in this tie, they are the only one that actually can still win their division. So, huge game for San Antonio. The New Mexico Monsters playing for pride in July. Can't make the playoffs, but definitely look to be a spoiler against division rivals here tonight. Let's find out what happens and take a look at the lineups. See You Later starts things off for New Mexico, followed by Patriot. At the captain spot is Dragon, and at 5-point gainer, it will be Champion. Now to the home side of the field. Starting things off for San Antonio is going to be Acura, followed by Sweet 16. At the captain spot is going to be Motor Blade Jr., and at 5-point gainer will be Road Plane. So here we go, Acura and See You Later are going to start us off. And it's going to be 5-0 New Mexico in the lead, and the cap runs across the field. And now here comes Sweet 16 out there to do battle with See You Later. Both these cars going at it. And it's going to be tied at 5 here. Kings tie the game, and here comes Patriot to do battle with Sweet 16. They're both down. 10-10 the score. Close matchup.
Dragon and Motor Jr.
Exactly. Dragon out there for New Mexico. Motorblade Jr. out there for San Antonio. And Motorblade Jr. gets a good flip on the first collision there. 15-10. San Antonio in the lead. And now Motorblade Jr. taking on Champion here. And there will be no overtime. Champion goes down on the first collision with Motorblade Jr. and this game is over. 15-10. Heavyweight. He's got weight, but yeah. Anyways. No battle. You know, there's only so many cars in the league and you try to get the best talent that you think you can possibly get, you know. But nonetheless, New Mexico takes another loss here. The San Antonio Kings, another 3 points. Definitely useful for them right now. They get the win, 15-10 the final over the New Mexico Monsters. Stay tuned, our next game coming up. Miami Mafia, Tampa Bay Gators, only on CDL Live.
All right, our next game coming up, the Miami Mafia on the road to take on in-state rivals, the Tampa Bay Gators. The Gators looking to keep their playoff hopes alive, and they're starting to fade fast. The Miami Mafia, on the other hand, they're just playing for pride right now. No chance of making the playoffs. Seeing a lot of these games lately, but just to think about it, 16 out of the 42 teams make the playoffs. The rest do not. Low percentage, so you're going to see this a lot coming up in the final days of the season. But Tampa Bay, much in need of a win. Miami trying to play spoiler. See who gets their way here on CDL Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live. Our next game about to take place. Battle from the Sunshine State here. Miami Mafia on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Gators. Two teams from that Southeast Division. Of course, the Miami Mafia here have no chance of making the playoffs. The Tampa Bay Gators right here, they are barely hanging on in the playoff race. So, for Miami, it's trying to win for pride. For Tampa Bay, it's win or, a couple more losses. They could be not going to the playoffs. So, huge game here in that perspective. Stick with the lineups. Mach 6 starts things off for Miami, followed by Uncle Sam. Monkey at the captain spot, and at the 5-point gainer will be Retroactive. To the home side of the field, Pocket Blaster will start things off for Tampa Bay, followed by Battle. Enzo 3 at the captain spot, and at 5-point gainer will be Gold Gunner. Here we go, Miami Tampa Bay game on here. Pocket Blaster and Mach 6, and Pocket Blaster's down 5-0 Miami. And here comes Battle, out there to battle with Mach 6. These two cars going at it here. And it's going to be tied at 5. Battle getting a good flip there. And here comes Uncle Sam for the Miami Mafia. And he'll go right down. 10-5 Tampa Bay. Monkey trying to keep Miami in this game. And he will. The score's now tied at 10. So here we go. Monkey now out there against Enzo 3 here. 10-10 tie between Tampa Bay and Miami.
Very low.
They are both.
I've been wanting to see these two go at it.
Both high flipping cars, and they both take each other down. This game will go into overtime. Retroactive out there for Miami against Tampa Bay Gators Gold Gunner here in OT. They both go down. Tie game. 15-15 the final between the Miami Mafia and the Tampa Bay Gators. what an action-packed game. You never know what's going to happen in the CDL. Both teams pick up 2 points. Doesn't do much good for Miami. They're already out. But for the Tampa Bay Gators, 2 points. Better than a loss. But, man, would they have loved to just have 3 there. Kind of needed it. Nonetheless, coming up next, Pittsburgh Destroyers, Boston Vandals on CDL Live. Stay tuned.
Alright, our next game on tap, the Pittsburgh Destroyers looking to hold their ground in that Northern Division because Bradford's fast approaching and trying to catch up to them. They're keeping right up with them. Pittsburgh only a few points ahead. The Boston Vandals. Any loss can knock them out of the playoff race. They are desperately in need of wins. Can they get one here today? It would be a huge upset if they could. Let's find out what happens. Boston Vandals, Pittsburgh Destroyers next on CDL Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live. Our next game should be a good matchup here. The Boston Vandals on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Destroyers. Pittsburgh currently sitting first place in the Northern Division. Of course, Bradford got a win today, so Pittsburgh has to keep their foot on the gas and try to get a win here to keep that distance between them. The Boston Vandals are currently 13th place in the Eastern Conference, and every game right now is do or die for them. And you got to look at things like how Cleveland might do, but currently the Boston Vandals are currently 16 points behind those Cleveland Wolves. So, huge game for both teams involved. Let's see who can get the W. But first, take a look at the lineups. Silver Swoop starts things off for Boston, followed by Purple Indy. At the captain's spot will be Monkey Ball, and that 5-point gainer, Red Medina. To the home side of the field, Pittsburgh will come out with Zebra, followed by Green Blaze. At the captain's spot, What Junior, and a 5-point gainer will be Paradox. So here we go, Zebra and Silver Swoop. To start this game, and Zebra has Pittsburgh a 5-0 lead. Purple Indy now out there to take on Zebra. Zebra, talented forward, front runner. And he's got Pittsburgh a 10-0 lead. Monkey Ball trying to keep Boston alive. Not going to happen. Zebra goes 3-0. And the Pittsburgh Destroyers do exactly what their team name says. They destroy the Boston Vandals. Nonetheless, 15-0 win. Destroyers beat the Vandals. Coming up next, New Jersey Bandits. Speak of the devil, the team that we were just talking about, the Cleveland Wolves. That's our next game. Bandits, Wolves on CDL Live. Next, stay tuned.
Alright, our next game coming up right now. At the start of the game day, the Cleveland Wolves were only 7 points ahead of that number 9 seed team. They are currently holding the 8th and final spot in the playoffs, and the Wolves definitely in need of wins to try to hang on to it. The New Jersey Bandits, on the other hand, playing for pride in July, just looked to play spoiler for Cleveland here. Who's going to be able to get the W? Let's find out. New Jersey Bandits, Cleveland Wolves, next on CDL Live.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our next game here on CDL Live. And it's going to be the New Jersey Bandits, who are currently playing for pride in July. They have no chance of making the playoffs. But the Bandits look to get a win anyway against the number 8 seeded Cleveland Wolves, who are trying to widen the gap that they have on 9th place and down right now. Can they get the job done here? Let's find out. Let's take a look at the lineups. Yellow Indy will start things off for New Jersey, followed by Cobra. At the captain's spot, Kid Custom, and a 5-point gainer, Silver Angel. The home side of the field, Mick D. Green starts things off for Cleveland, followed by Aqua Ferrari. At the captain's spot will be Stock 34 and Blue F50 at 5-point gainer position.
I won't get anybody dancing with you because I don't want to fuck.
Yellow Indy and Mick D. Green. Game on.
Hoorah.
And it's going to be 5-0 Wolves in the lead. They've been struggling lately. Definitely could use a win here.
Hoorah.
And they're up 10-0. Mick D. Green 2-0.
Not on my man's Kid Custom, though.
Kid Custom now out there against Mick D. Green.
No.
Both these cars switch sides, going at it yet again. No interference. They're both down, and the game is over. 15-5. The Cleveland Wolves, a much-needed win.
I got people.
Oh, yeah. Cleveland Wolves, a much-needed win over the New Jersey Bandits. Helps them widen the gap on the 9 seed and back below, depending on how those teams
You should hang me from the ceiling fan like this and watch over the game.
That'd be nice.
Are you saying I'm a tool?
Yeah, why not? Hang you upside down from the fan with the camera. That'd be the weirdest camera angle. Just go round in fucking circles.
Oh shit, I fell. Oh!
That'd be funny.
Here goes right.
Alright, our next game coming up, Battle from the Lone Star State, Houston Oilers, Dallas Stars, next on CDL Live.
Alright, next game on tap for you here on CDL Live. The Dallas Stars up against the Houston Oilers, a battle from the Lone Star State. Speaking of Lone Star, that's going to be the team name for the Dallas Stars next year. They'll be called the Dallas Lone Stars. I think I mentioned that before, but nonetheless, Dallas, no chance of making the playoffs this year. Houston could still win the Southern Division, but the chances are slim. They need wins right now just to keep their playoff hopes alive. Currently, Houston sitting 12th in the conference and 6 points out of a playoff spot. But nonetheless, they are in the need of wins. Can they get one here today against the Dallas Stars? Division rivals, always looking to play spoiler against their rivals. Let's find out what happens. Stars, Oilers next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live. Our next game about to take place, the Houston Oilers on the road to do battle with the Dallas Stars. Both these teams definitely looking for a win, but especially Houston, who is still in the playoff race. Actually, come to think of it, they're still in their divisional race as well, and this is a divisional matchup, no less. Houston sitting with 66 points currently, and that puts them right now at 12th place in the Western Conference. The Dallas Stars already out of a playoff spot, so they're playing for pride here in this rivalry game. So let's go on ahead and take a look at these lineups here. First, starting with the visitors, the Houston Oilers. Mod Clock starts things off, followed by Whitetail. At the captain spot is going to be Blue Dragon 2, and Silver Spider takes 5-point gainer for the Houston Oilers. Dallas Stars, who next year will be called the Dallas Lone Stars. Starting off for them will be Red Tail, followed by Custom Vet. At the captain spot will be McLaren, and a 5-point gainer will be Formula. So here we go. Red Tail and Aqua. Game on, and it's 5-0. Dallas in the lead. Two brothers, Whitetail and Red Tail going at it. Two Mickey D's covers, too. And Whitetail will go down. And
did a front flip.
Yep. Whitetail will go down. It's 10-0 Dallas, looking for what would be a pretty big upset here. And they got it. 15-0. The Stars roll over the Houston Oilers here on their home turf.
I just love how Dragon ran it. Blue Dragon.
Yeah, I know, right on the logo and everything. Sideways. Dude, you know what? I'm sorry I gotta make this joke. They are the Houston Oilers. And look at Blue Dragon 2. Sitting sideways. Paul Wall in it. Come on. Whatever happened to Paul Wall? Anyway, 15-0 the final. Dallas Stars defeat the Houston Oilers. Coming up next. Another big game, at least for one of the teams involved. Portland Panthers on the road take on the Denver Mustangs next on CDL Live. Stay tuned.
Alright, in our next game here, the Denver Mustangs are home looking for a huge upset. They'll be taking on the Portland Panthers. The Panthers right now, 7th seed in the Western Conference. Denver has no chance of making the playoffs. Portland trying to catch up to the 6th seed. Let's put it this way, they'd definitely rather play Roswell in the first round than play Chicago. That being said, huge game for them. Denver, like I said, looking to get any win they can. It's coming up next on CDLI, Panthers, Mustangs.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live. Our next game on tap. The Portland Panthers on the road to take on the Denver Mustangs. Denver not going to make it to the playoffs. They are playing for pride in July. The Portland Panthers currently holding down the 7th seed in the Western Conference, and they're looking to catch up to St. Louis for the 6th spot. See who has their way today. Denver just trying to win for shits and giggles, really. And the Portland Panthers, they look for a win to try to move up in the playoff picture. Let's find out what happens. But first, the lineups. Blue Lamborghini starts things off for Portland, followed by Solar Reflex. Monty at the captain spot, and at 5-point gainer will be Pro. The home side of the field here. Orange Amazon will start things off for Denver, followed by 308. At the captain spot, White Ferrari, and at 5-point gainer will be Mach 5. There we go, Orange Amazon and Blue Lamborghini start this game off, and Blue Lamborghini gets the flip. 5-0 Portland in the lead. 308 out there against Blue Lamborghini. What are you doing? This game is tied. 5-5. Solar Reflex in 308 now. Tie game. 5-5 the score. And it's going to be 10-5 Portland as Solar Reflex gets the good clean flip there on 308. And here comes White Ferrari to do battle with Solar Reflex. Game on the line for Denver here. And it's done. Over with. Portland Panthers get the win. 15-5 the final. They defeat the Denver Mustangs. What can be said? Good game right there. Coming up next, Buffalo Warriors and their opponents, the Detroit Devils. It's next on CDL Live. Stay tuned, folks.
All right, our next game on tap here on CDL Live. The Detroit Devils trying to keep their very slim playoff hopes alive. Well, they might be out by now the way games have gone so far, but nonetheless, at the start of the game day, they were still in. They try to keep slim hopes alive for themselves against the Buffalo Warriors, who are searching for their 30th win of the season. Buffalo, of course, a very tough team to beat, no matter where you play them, home or away. Detroit tries to accomplish that. Let's find out if they can do it next on CDL Live. Buffalo Warriors, Detroit Devils.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live, and some info that I just figured out. I did a little math before starting this game here, and just found out Boston, Tampa Bay, and the Detroit Devils here have all been eliminated from playoff contention due to Cleveland's win earlier today over the New Jersey Bandits. Fireworks, baby. Grand finale right there. Anyway, the Buffalo Warriors on the road to take on the Detroit Devils here in this game. Detroit now finds themselves playing simply for pride here in July. The Buffalo Warriors right now find themselves 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. They want to try to stay ahead of Hartford and catch up to Bradford, at least keep up with Bradford. So, the Buffalo Detroit, let's take a look at the lineups for Buffalo. It'll be Blue Dragons starting things off for them, followed by Tyrell. What at the captain spot and Blue BMW at 5-point gainer. To the home side of the field, Detroit has Ray Carrera, followed by 24. Black Dragon at the captain spot, and at 5-point gainer will be Sun for the Detroit Devils. There we go, Buffalo Detroit. Warriors Devils on CDL Live. Game on, it's 5-0 Buffalo. 24 now out there after Ray Carrera got flipped, and it's 10-0 now. Blue Dragon doing his thing now up against Black Dragon, and Black Dragon will get the flip here. And we got 10-5 game. Yeah, no one is lower than Tyrell. He's definitely the lowest in the league, maybe. But he goes down there, 10-10. Detroit coming back here after my man's what? Now here we go, Black Dragon and what? The rookie Black Dragon trying to make an impact, almost did. As what had to take flying lessons yet again there. And what on the defensive here against Black Dragon, and what goes down? Black Dragon 3-0 going for 4-0 in the complete comeback here up against Blue BMW, who's trying to force overtime for the Warriors. Almost had it there. And this time Blue BMW does have it. 15-15. Buffalo forces overtime, so 3-1 night for Black Dragon.
Good people go down, and then they work so hard for so much effort, and they would
fucked over.
Oh, I mean, what do you mean get fucked up? Anyway. Blue BMW out there for Buffalo up against Sun. Now, one thing you might not notice about Blue BMW, he is a heavy hitter. He's a heavy car. So here we go. Sun, he's pretty good himself at 5-point gainer, but not good enough to beat Blue BMW tonight. Hey, they came close, no doubt about it. Give credit to Detroit, a hard-fought game there, but the Warriors, in the end, come out with the 15-10 win over the Detroit Devils. They had to face a little bit of a scare there, though. Nonetheless.
We're about to have the same record.
Yeah, about it. Anyway. Hartford Homies on the road to take on the Green Bay Dragons next. Homies, a win gets them into the playoffs. What's going to happen? We'll find out next on CDL Live. Stay tuned.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next game on tap, the Hartford Homies on the road to take on the Green Bay Dragons. Hartford sitting 6th in the Eastern Conference behind the number 5 seeded Buffalo Warriors. Of course, they will love to catch up to them here, and of course, Buffalo got a win just in the game before, and Hartford just looking to keep up. They want to try to get second in the Northeast Division. They'll try to get closer to that goal today. Of course, the Green Bay Dragons on home turf looking for a win just for pride's sake. They have no chance of making the playoffs in 2013. Playing for pride in July. Let's find out what happens in this game. Should be a good one. Hartford Homies, Green Bay Dragons. Next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live. Our next game on tap, the Hartford Homies on the road to take on the Green Bay Dragons. Green Bay playing for pride in July. No chance to make the playoffs for Green Bay. So really just playing for pride here. The Hartford Homies, on the other hand, a win today puts them into the playoffs in 2013. Of course, Green Bay's saying kind of things like over my dead body type of thing, but nonetheless, Hartford, determined team. Let's see if they can get it done. Player lineup. Gold Dust will start things off for Hartford, followed by Gray Ghost. At the captain spot will be Hammer, and at 5-point gainer, Gold Dragster.
Dude, Green Bay's front line, they look exactly all the same.
Oh. For Green Bay, that front line that Alex is talking about would be Blitzen, followed by Yellow Enzo, or my bad, Yellow FXX. At the captain spot will be the one, and at 5-point gainer will be Red Porsche. I don't know where I get Yellow Enzo, but anyways, Yellow FXX right there at the middleman spot for the Green Bay Dragons. But it's going to be Blitzen out there against Gold Dust to start things off. And Gold Dust has a good flip there. 5-0, Homies in the lead. And here comes Yellow FXX. And we are going to be tied at 5. Green Bay fighting back here. Yellow FXX out there against Gray Ghost. They both go down. 10-10 the score. Now it's down to Hammer from the Homies. The one out there for Green Bay. 10-10 game, and Hammer gets the flip. 15-10 Hartford in the lead. Hammer trying to clinch his team a playoff spot. Needs one more flip to do it. Red Porsche trying to send this game into overtime against Hammer. Not going to happen. Hammer gets the job done, and the Hartford Homies are going to the 2013 playoffs. So 10 guys will be sending 2 teams to the playoffs in 2013. If you count his D-League team, it makes 3. He sent 3 to the playoffs. Of course, Rochester not in the playoffs anymore after being swept by Wilkes-Barre. But nonetheless, Tim Geiser said his goal this year was the Crash Bowl, and he definitely helps his odds. Both of his pro teams are in. Coming up next, Jacksonville Dynamos, Carolina Wildcats, Southeast Division battle on CDL Live. Stay tuned.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.